Before I retired, I made a personal monthly budget for myself. I had budgeted $3,400 a month in after-tax income for my retirement monthly spending. This is after tracking my spending and estimating costs in retirement. I use a basic personal budget spreadsheet. I'll include a link below. There were items I could spend less on, but I tend to err on the side of caution. It's been a year since I retired and I wanted to see how close I came to my budget after one full year. I made a video after 3 months, I made one after 6 months, and one after 9 months. Now let's see how I compare after 12 months. The first section of the budget is housing. The fixed expenses were accurate. Those are highlighted in green. You can see these, but I'm just going to talk about the variable expenses, and those are highlighted in pink. I'm taking the amount spent for March, April, and May and dividing by 3 for all of these figures. Electricity averaged $60 a month for the last 3 months. The one-year average for electricity from June 2024 through May 2025 was $55 a month. Water and sewer was $125 a month for the last 3 months, and it was $127 a month for the last year. Unfortunately, I have to water my lawn with city water. We don't have irrigation in my neighborhood, and it gets pretty hot here. House maintenance and repairs averaged $112 a month. This came from buying some filters for my air purifier, a shelving unit, some weed and feed, and some garden supplies. I also had a $193 bill in April for having my sprinklers repaired. In April, when I went to turn on my underground sprinklers, they came on and stayed on. They wouldn't shut off. I watched YouTube videos, I opened the valves, I opened the bleeder screws, I tried everything. But I couldn't figure it out and I had to hire someone to come fix it. The guy said whoever blew out my sprinklers in the fall didn't blow all the air out of the system. He did something to get the rest of the air out and it was $193. I hate it when I can't fix something myself, but it is what it is. Remember that $112 is the total for the last 3 months divided by 3. The 12-month average was $68 a month. Household supplies averaged $63 a month. This is paper products, cleaners, light bulbs, anything like that. The 12-month average was also $68 a month. So in this first section, I spent $65 less per month for the last 3 months. And I spent $107 less per month for the last year. Go me! The next section of my budget is transportation. Let's look at the variable expenses. It starts with auto maintenance. Thankfully, I didn't need any auto repairs in the last 3 months, so the average was $0 a month. The 12-month average was $42 a month. Gasoline averaged $97 a month. I have been going out of town to see family quite a bit. The 12-month average was $80 a month. In this section, I spent $103 less per month than budgeted for the last 3 months. And I spent $78 less per month for the last 12 months. The next section is insurance. I've been counting health and dental insurance as variable. But in January, they became the same fixed amount. I will change my budget to reflect that for year 2. I used COBRA insurance for September through December, but starting in January when I started ACA insurance, it went down to 0. I have a video about applying for Affordable Care Act insurance that I'll link below in case you're interested. So the 3-month average for health insurance was $0 a month, but the 12-month average was $233 a month because of those 4 $700 COBRA payments. For dental insurance, I signed up through ACA and it started in December. I chose Delta Dental and I'm paying $40 a month to basically just cover 2 cleanings. I'm going to cancel at the end of this year and probably just self-insure. So dental insurance averaged $40 a month for the last 3 months. The 12-month average was $26 a month because I didn't have any dental insurance from September through November. So in this section, because of my ACA insurance, I was $210 under budget for the last 3 months. And because of those 4 huge COBRA payments, I was $9 a month over for the last 12 months. The next section is food. These expenses are all variable. Groceries are one of my biggest expense. Food is just expensive, man. I made a grocery haul video about my monthly grocery expenses a while back. I'll link it below just in case you're interested. I had budgeted $550 a month for groceries. That's what I spent when I was working. But since retiring, I've been making more foods from scratch, growing more foods in my garden, looking for sales and coupons and things like that. So the grocery category has gone down a little bit. I'm still working on it. Groceries averaged $446 a month for the last 3 months. The 12-month average was $487 a month. This does also include any adult beverages. Dining out averaged $79 a month for the last 3 months. I met friends out for dinner several times, and when I was out of town with my daughter, we ate out a lot. The 12-month average was $60 a month. So in this section, I spent $75 less per month for the last 3 months. And I spent $53 less per month for the last 12 months. The next section is personal care. Medical and dental averaged $200 a month. I had some co-pays, and I'm also paying $278 a month toward a $1,000 colonoscopy bill. I paid that amount in April and May. The 12-month average was $100 a month. Hair and beauty was $104 a month for the last 3 months. I get my hair cut and highlighted every 3 months. I also bought several products. The 12-month average was $82 a month. Clothing averaged $56 a month for the last 3 months, and that's a lot for me because I hardly ever buy clothes. But I bought some hiking shoes, a pair of flip-flops, a new purse, and a couple of t-shirts in May. The 12-month average was just $18 a month. As I got closer to the end of my first year in retirement, I got a little more comfortable spending money on non-essentials like clothing. In this section, I was $110 over per month for the last 3 months, and that's mainly from those medical bills. But I was $50 under per month for the last 12 months. The next section is entertainment. No big nights out in the last 3 months, so my average for the last 3 months was $0 a month. The 12-month average was $25 a month. The movies category was $12 a month in the last 3 months. I've gone to several movies in the last couple months. My retired friends and I have been going to the movies and lunch in the middle of the week and the middle of the day. It's great. There's no crowds. The 12-month average was $5 a month. For travel, all the traveling I did was to see family, so you'll see that expense in the gas category. So travel was $0 a month for the last 3 months and $117 a month for the last 12 months. In this first year of retirement, I only ended up going out of town and staying in a hotel once for a concert, and then I took a trip to Mexico with my daughter. I had planned more trips than that, but they didn't pan out for one reason or another. I have enjoyed going out of town a couple times a month to visit family though. Miscellaneous is pretty big this quarter. I bought a lot of tools and supplies for my flooring project. I've been replacing my flooring with luxury vinyl plank. I bought a jigsaw, a nail gun, lots of flooring tools, stain, trim, screws, nails, all kinds of stuff. I did not include the $4,000 I spent on the flooring itself in my budget. That was a one-time expense that I had saved money separately for. That's just how I did it. I also had to buy a new air fryer because the one I had died. I found one at Costco for $50. My old cell phone also died. I had had it for several years, so I bought a new one with a case and a screen protector and everything for $197, and that should last me several years. I also bought myself a foot massager and an area rug. I'm also throwing my daughter a bridal shower soon, and I've been buying supplies for that. So Miscellaneous averaged $442 a month for the last 3 months, but it was just $133 a month for the last 12 months. So in this section, I spent $75 less per month for the last 3 months, and I spent $238 under budget per month for the last 12 months. I'm now paying quarterly self-employment taxes on my YouTube income for the 2025 year. My first payment of $321 was paid in April. Since YouTube doesn't take taxes out for you, you do have to pay regular taxes and an additional 15.3% self-employment tax. I set it up to be automatically withdrawn from my bank account in April, June, September, and January. So I just added that category to my budget. The next section is gifts and donations. I bought birthday presents for my 2 sons and my sister. I also bought a couple of retirement gifts for my friends. I'm also including some of the supplies for my daughter's bridal shower in the gifts category. So gifts averaged $228 a month for the last 3 months. The 12-month average was $137 a month. That fluctuates a lot depending on the month. I bought some Easter stuff for my grandkids and I took them out for frozen yogurt, and that was $62. So grandkids averaged $21 a month for the last 3 months. The 12-month average was $14 a month. So in this section, I was $180 under budget for the last 3 months. And I was $281 a month under budget for the last 12 months. So my average monthly spending for my 4th quarter of retirement was $2,787 a month. I came in $388 a month under budget. For my first 12 months of retirement, my average monthly spending was $2,507 a month. That's $668 under budget. That's great. I'm feeling really good about my budget and my spending since I've retired. Now that I have an accurate retirement budget after 1 year of tracking, I'll change my year 2 budget to be closer to what I'm actually spending. Before I retired, I had overestimated my budget a little bit to make sure I had enough planned and saved. I wasn't sure exactly how my spending would change in retirement. I'm pleasantly surprised to see how much less I'm actually spending than my original budget. The housing section was $781 a month instead of my projected $888. Transportation was $173 a month instead of my projected $251. Insurance was $319 a month instead of my projected $310. And again, that's because of those 4 huge COBRA payments. Food was $547 a month instead of my projected $600 a month, and that's for groceries and eating out. Personal care was $200 a month instead of my projected $250. Entertainment was $291 a month instead of my projected $529. I do think that category will go up in the next year because now I'm a little more comfortable with spending on non-essential things, and I'm planning to take several trips. I've added self-employment taxes in the taxes section now. In the past, I always had enough withheld from my paychecks, so I never had to pay any taxes. That's why I didn't have taxes included in my budget. That's just how I've done it. I am having taxes withheld from my small $800 a month pension. Gifts and donations was $169 a month instead of my projected $450. So my original monthly projected cost that I estimated before I retired was $3,175. But my actual monthly cost since I've been retired was $2,507. I couldn't be happier about that, and for my 2nd year in retirement, I will update my budget to be more accurate. I have other videos about emergency funds and accounting for inflation and taxes and things like that that are not included in this video. If you're seeing me for the first time, hi, I'm Julie and this channel's Happy on Monday. Thanks for joining me. If you found this helpful, please like. And if you're interested in early retirement, consider subscribing. I'm going to leave you with a quote by Dave Ramsey. A budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Hope to see you again soon.